My friends, the longer I'm on the air, the more I get to say I told you so, and I'm loving it. My name is Howard Real. The show is called Real Truth. Although today we could call it I Told You So, because I started the show yesterday with an I Told You So, and now I get a chance to do another one. Item from the Daily Wire. As highlighted by the Daily Wire on Monday, Leland Ingham Kaiser, the close friend of Brett Kavanaugh accuser Christine Blasey Ford, named as a witness to the now Supreme Court Justice's alleged attempted rape decades ago, not only denied being at such a gathering described by the accuser, she also did not believe Blasey Ford was the victim, according to reporting from the Federalist's Molly Hemingway. Buried at the end of their new book, The Education of Brett Kavanaugh, An Investigation, reporters Robin Pogrebin and Kate Kelly quietly admit that Christine Blasey Ford's lifelong friend Leland Kaiser did not believe her friend's tale of a sexual assault at a party they both supposedly attended, Hemingway reported. Moreover, according to Alex Beckel, the son of Mrs. Kaiser and her ex-husband, former Fox News personality and ardent Democrat Bob Beckel, Kaiser was pressured by Blasey Ford allies to lie during the Kavanaugh confirmation hearing about the incident. Quote, nearly a year after Trump nominated Brett Kavanaugh to the Supreme Court, most have moved on. But for one of the key players in that fight, Leland Kaiser, the struggle continues, unquote, a GoFundMe account set up for Ms. Kaiser and her son reads. Quote, despite her lifelong friendship with Christine Blasey Ford and her opposition to Brett Kavanaugh's nomination, Kaiser resisted immense personal pressure and courageously came forward with the truth, putting everything in her life at risk, the GoFundMe post continues. As a result, she faces great personal hardship. The harsh glare of the public eye has taken a tremendous physical, emotional, and financial toll on her. Leland stood up and did what was right when she had everything to lose and nothing to gain, the post added. My friends, I told you so. Christine Blasey Ford is a political opportunist. She is a liar. She's a fake. And she's a piece of garbage. And this seems to indicate, very clearly indicates, that she was put up to it. And even the people closest to her knew that she was full of it. Well, here's a related town hall, because I'm not through saying I told you so, from downhall.com. During a Q&A with reporters, President Donald Trump was asked about the Times' decision to run the excerpt without including that bit of information. Quote, do you think the New York Times should fire the individuals responsible for claiming that Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh committed sexual misconduct without including exculpatory information? The Daily Caller's Amber Athey asked Trump. Trump blasted the news organization, saying they failed to do any kind of fact-checking and, as a result, are destroying lives. Quote, the New York Times made another terrible mistake. It's a shame that a thing like that can happen. I see that they're making a big correction today. They just announced there's a correction. But to do that about a Supreme Court justice is a terrible thing, I think, Trump replied. I think false accusation, whatever happened with the New York Times, I can tell you personally, they never check. They never do. We used to have a thing called fact-checking. They don't do fact-checking anymore. They used to call and say, what about this? What about that? How can they do a thing like that and destroy someone's life, Trump asked. They're destroying lives and it's fake news, unquote. Fake news it is. And destroying and wrecking lives they are, but it goes even deeper than that. Unless you have objective truth, you're nowhere. You're floating in limbo. You've got nothing. And America at present has less objective truth than ever before, certainly in my lifetime. One network says this, 5 networks say that, even though we all know that that is a lie. But that's the garbage that's constantly pumped out into the atmosphere. It's like the reactor at Fukushima. It's pumping out thousands of gallons a day of radioactive water into the ocean. Well, this fake news business is radioactive facts, radioactive propaganda. That's a much better word. And it's poisoning the country. I'm betting that none of my bloviating is going to get the people at MSNBC or CNN or the other disgracefully lying news organizations. Not going to get them to change who and what they are and start walking the tried and true path. They've dug their graves and they're going to have to lay in them now, and they bear responsibility for what comes. But we can stem the tide of the damage they're causing by knowing which news outlets are giving you truth and which are not. Now, speaking of things that are poisoning America, item from CBSLocal.com, Minneapolis, Minnesota. 20 people arrested, 18 of them now charged, all connected to brutal robberies in downtown Minneapolis. The attacks were caught on surveillance video taking place in August. Police say groups of people... Stop right there. What do you mean people? People? Which people? What people? Police say groups of people would target one person, assault them, and often take their cell phone and wallet. The 18 suspects range in age from 15 to 27, unquote. What people? Well, if you saw this online, there were photos of people, and it just so happens that Minneapolis is the epicenter of a small but growing Somali population in this country. What's that, you say? Yes, it's the district of Ilhan Omar, the Somali anti-Semite and America hater. These are Somali men running around causing havoc, beating people up, robbing them, because Minnesota was stupid enough to take in Somali refugees. Is Minnesota smart enough to stop taking in Somali refugees, maybe even get rid of the ones that are here already? I don't think they are. What about the other 49 states? Are we willing to recognize the ravages going on in this country because of third world immigrants, especially from Somalia? The best thing you can say about Somalia is that it's a toilet. Remember Black Hawk Down? That's Somalia. So I wish the people in Minneapolis a lot of luck, because they're going to need it. And it's what they get for electing moron politicians who bring Somalis into their fair city and state. It's Tuesday, and it's Real Truth, and I'll be right back.
Suffering from low T, stand up. Have your God and your life. Come close to upper north side.